think we've done really good with what we have at the moment.
Do you have a contingency offer on this property, or have you
Yes.
already purchased it?
Correct.
It's contingent on getting the use variance, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And what's the time frame if you're granted this request and the sale goes through, what's the time frame for you moving from one location to this location?
What's our
6
next one?
months.
I'm gonna say probably 6 months to 8 months, because we've gotta put in a kitchen and what have you, and
Yeah,
we've
You
got a
have
lot.
a lease that goes at least through the next 6 months.
yeah, up until September.
So it'll take a while.
Other questions? I just wanted to clarify, I think, something that was said by the staff that, or maybe it was by somebody else, that the RC only allows a limited number of things, which is true. It's not just for a flower shop, though. I mean, professional offices have gone in next door, including the Lakeshore paving and the dentist's office. So it's other things besides flower shop.
It is, yes, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Restaurants are not considered part of that RC.
That's correct, that's, yes.
And the character of the neighborhood, I think that's the question that maybe you brought in with your documentation, that there are other restaurant types within the area.
Yeah.
Some of those are in the town of Ellicott that are outside of the
Right.
city, just outside the city,
Mhm.
but they do come in at that main street
Yeah.
area.
Yeah, yep.
So in unique circumstances, in terms of commercial businesses may be met because there are others in the area, but the RC is not one that allows it. You heard us talk earlier about the zoning is being looked at for some changes.
Mhm.
And the concern I have is giving a use variance when within the time frame that you're planning on moving, 6 to 8 months, the zoning code could be changed to allow for more flexibility. Am I correct?
Zoning code's not planned to be done until the end of '27, so it would be a farther timeline
In September, it would be more like December, you're saying?
of '27.
Yes, so that's,
Yeah, yeah.
they're saying 6 to 8 months, they're not saying this September, they're saying,
Right, but 6 to 8 months to move in, right? So that means that they would have to do the construction between now and then to be ready to move in, rather than wait 6 to 8 months to even see if they can purchase the property, which by then it may be gone. So.
Correct, we need the
there's some
variance
timing
before.
related to that too, right? So I hear what you're saying, Ellen, but I just think if they were to have to wait 9 months, this might not be an opportunity for them anymore.
and after this process, if the use variance is approved, do they go to the planning commission for site plans, or they wouldn't have to do that?
So we would have to do site plan review. I have to look at the trigger for needing to go to planning commission, but we would do any site plan review internally with staff, DPW, BPU, and code enforcement, and the DOD does it internal. If there's certain thresholds that require planning commission, and if they hit that threshold, so the parking may be a threshold that would get them to have to go to planning commission, we would work with them through planning commission too.
What about Ellen mentioned Tim Hortons, where if you're heading north on North Main Street, you cannot make a left into, I'm assuming because of the line of sight right there on the hill. Do you foresee anything with traffic with the state on that road, and how would that work? Would you have to approach the state?
I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I do believe that there is a turning lane on Main Street there that would probably make it easier for the state to not give pushback on that. I would be happy to reach out to the state about that because I am discussing other projects with them because I've been working on the Safe Streets for All initiative doing outreach, and that includes a lot of dialogue with the state about the state road. But because the width of the road and the turning lane there, I don't think it would be an issue. And because Tim Hortons is in the other commercial,
Yeah.
I'd be happy to reach out.
the financial piece is very important to a use variance, and you're looking at a substantial purchase price because there is a building and a lot of land that goes along with all those parcels. And then having to do extensive renovations because it's a floral shop now, not a restaurant, so I'm assuming you're going to need to change everything, put a kitchen in.
Correct.
Okay. Do you have at least some figures that you could present in terms of how?
I don't know if we've got them right
If you're
now.
going to speak, you have to come up here and say.
Oh.
Just
I think
because we
I
have
should.
this
I think I
transcribed, and so we have to have,
I think
okay, so name and address, and then you can do that.
And the address
My name is Deborah Paddock, I live at 18 East Summit in Lakewood, and I'm the co-owner of the eatery that we have now.
So tell me, have you put together, some financial information in terms of the purchase? You don't have to tell us exact, but ballpark in terms of what you expect this is going to cost, and then the cost benefit of putting it together?
Yes, we've talked to our banker a couple times to try to get figures, and we're in the middle of that because we wanted to make sure first that we could make it into a restaurant. We wanted the variance saying yes, we could because people are waiting. We just put in a price and they accept it, and we don't want to wait. They don't want to wait probably 6 or 8 months, and neither do we. Like, we would want to get going on the project now. As soon as the variance went through and they got their money, we would want to start the project. So even though we're not going to open 6 to 8 months, we would still be running our eatery on Savannah Avenue. And our business is great. We've done well. The bank even says, yes, you can support this move, The thing, it's like where we are now. If at the end we sell our business, we're not getting anything for it because first of all, we have a landlord in this plaza that does absolutely nothing. I mean zero. And it rains in there, and we have been there for 12 years, never late, not once on our rent, on our lease, not once. And he refuses to fix anything. And we now have saved enough money for a nice little down payment so that we can own a building and grow and have something to leave,
And equipment. I guess you
We
have
own
enough. or
We
the
own
bank
all
is
of our
doing it.
equipment.
Okay.
We own everything in our restaurant. Yeah.
Are you able to use the existing freezer that's in the cooler that's in the flower shop now?
That's a
Probably,
good
but
question.
We're not sure.
We're not sure. We need to get it laid out first. We need to get an architect in there to lay out our kitchen and
So
our
if you had a
toilet.
contractor go through there and look at it just to kind of to answer her questions, maybe as far as like
We kind of have a general idea. I've opened 2 restaurants, so I kind of have a pretty good idea on costs and like most of everything, we own everything in our restaurant now. Everything, right down to the tables and the dishwasher, we own all of it. So the big thing would probably be the contractors to do the jobs. And I know that Jim, my partner, which is a co-owner, has reached out to about the Ansel system, moving our Ansel system. And so we still feel like we would be okay and we could do it and still make money.
Okay, so you do have a financial plan that you feel is solid enough that if you got the use variance, you would be able to move forward with this project?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Other questions?
One question for Ms. Paddock. Just as a ballpark, a guesstimate, could you relocate downtown and keep your customer base and your traffic, or you feel you could not?
I feel we could not. Because downtown, the parking is limited. We have people that aren't gonna walk. A lot of ours are elderly. They just are. I mean, and they've been with us from day one. 12 years, and I'm telling you, we've got a real base. We really do.
The Flavanna area
Yeah.
is key to your business.
It
Yes.
is. They're like family now.
I mean, they really are. And even our employees that stayed with us, I want to say we probably have 5 5 still, we have 12 employees.
Okay.
It goes from 10 to 12 in that average, which is it. And we probably got 5 or 6 of them that have been with us since day one.
Yeah.
Nobody leaves. They really don't, right? They don't. They don't leave. So I think for Jamestown, I think it would be a good move for Jamestown because we're a good, solid place that, you know, that is good for Jamestown.
And are you open for breakfast and lunch? I
Yeah.
understand that. 7 days a week, or would you be open the same as in other?
7 days a week, yep, and we would be open 7 to 2, 7 days a week. And maybe do fish fries on Friday nights, or maybe extend our hours some if we feel that there's a need or people will want it. We still want to stay a diner, we still don't want to go, like, get all foo-foo. We don't. We just want to be a diner, you know, where people can come with their kids and play cards at the table. And, you know, that's what we want to keep.
Other questions?
You know, I said about the alcohol, would be, you know, I was thinking extended hours and stuff. There's a zoning code for how far you have to be from a church, and there is a church on North Main, I don't know the distance, so I mean, that would be something that you
Yeah.
have to verify if you're thinking of that.
I wouldn't be too concerned with that, I think, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, if we ever were to do something like that, we'd be open for dinners, and it would probably be beer or mimosas, and if it didn't pan out, I wouldn't be saying that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring it up.
Thank you.
I don't know
Thank
the
you.
distance it is from a
Thank you.
church,
Yeah.
but
Please
Appreciate that,
speak.
Joe, we'll look into that.
500 feet.
That's what I was gonna say, it's 500 feet.
Yeah. The code officer, we're looking at that as well, right? As a risk. Other questions from members of the zoning board? Seeing none at this time, we have a public comment section. Again, just to remind people, if you have a public comment, you have to state your name and address. You have to go to the microphone. You have up to 5 minutes. You must address only the items that are at risk here, the use variance. So anybody who would like to speak, now is the time. One more call, if there's anyone who would like to speak either in favor or opposition to the use variance request. Now is the time, you have 5 minutes. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment and ask the clerk if there's any further requests. Yes. So we'll read into the record the comment that was made.
Dear Chairman and members of the Zoning Board of Appeals, we are writing to you today as the owners of Lakeview Gardens LLC, the current title holders of the property located at 1259 North Main Street. The purpose of this correspondence is twofold. First, to formally document and demonstrate the significant operational and financial hardship imposed upon us by the property's current RC multifamily residential zoning classification. And second, to express our enthusiastic, unqualified support for the zoning variance requested by the prospective purchaser, the eatery, to establish and operate a restaurant at this location. The subject property and its existing structures have been actively listed on the commercial real estate market for over 2 years. Throughout the extended period, the current RC classification has proven to be an insurmountable barrier to successful sale, creating a clear, severe, and ongoing hardship for us as sellers. While North Main Street serves as a vibrant, high-traffic commercial corridor, the multifamily residential restriction on our specific parcel is fundamentally disconnected from the surrounding economic landscape and the historical commercial usage of the immediate area. The existing zoning imposes a unique burden that effectively paralyzes the marketability of the property. Prospective commercial buyers are repeatedly deterred by the regulatory uncertainty of purchasing a property where their intended use is technically prohibited, and forcing them to take the unpredictable task of applying for a variance. This is not a theoretical concern. It has caused direct financial injury to our business. To date, Lakeview Gardens LLC has more than one formal viable purchase offer rescinded solely due to constraints and risks associated with the current RC zoning classification. Commercial buyers simply cannot secure financing or justify the risk of acquiring a commercial building that is arbitrarily restricted to residential use. The proposed acquisition by the eatery represents the ideal resolution for this property.
Follow-up questions from members of the board? Seeing none, I'd be looking for a motion on the petition of Deborah Paddock and James Sinatra to have a use variance at 1259 North Main Street to allow them to operate a restaurant there.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. Is there a second?
Won't it have to be conditional?
What conditions are you suggesting?
You know, the layout and the parking and stuff, I mean, it's not automatic at this point.
This would be
You have
allowance
no
for the
design.
use. They would still have to go through all of the permitting, the land back,
Right, site plan.
Yes.
site plan.
Would we
yes.
For-
do
for the
conditional
parking?
on those?
I think that a variance request is only good for up to 6 months. I mean, there has to be some action, isn't that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Within that period.
A variance as it sits, once a variance is stopped being used, it's valid for 12 months during the not using the variance, and then it reverts to the original zoning. And if we don't see progress in the first 6 months, usually it comes back to the board for either reapproval or reevaluation.
I'm not sure if that's a condition. We don't approve site plans unless there is a need for a variance because of something like a setback or something like that. The use variance has to stand on its own and it stays with the property. One of the concerns, I think, and we've talked about this in the other two as well, is there's going to be changes to the zoning code, which may in fact mean that the use variance would go away. Is
It
that
would be
correct?
nullified, yes. If that's a use by right in the new zoning, then the variance would be nullified at that point.
So I think the site planning would have to come through the planning commission, and then if there was any need for a variance for an area variance, then,
Exactly, so, yes.
It starts with internal review in the DOD, and we do reach out to BPU and DPW.
Yeah, and so with the, like, the parking issue as something that could potentially need a variance if they weren't able to have enough. We wouldn't get to that point until we saw the site plans, and if they don't get the use variance, then they're not gonna move forward with doing site plans. So, yeah.
the one concern I have, and I don't think it's a condition we can put on, is about the highway and the fact that the state may feel that there's more traffic with a restaurant than a floral shop, and they may want to have some conditions on that, including, adding another apron. I'm not sure. I just don't know, and if you approve it, it could still need their approval.
So I'd be happy to reach out to the DOT, like I mentioned. So if you did approve this with the condition of DOT approval, I can follow up with the DOT this week, reach out to them and let them know that you guys, if it's passed, that you passed this and this restaurant wants to move in there. We just want to make sure that there's no potential traffic-related issues with it changing use from a flower shop to a restaurant.
And I think that's going to be a condition you're going to have to help with in terms of traffic in and out. You said there could be 50 people an hour. I mean, there's something going to have to be put in writing about how many people in and out entering onto that highway.
If you could even possibly, in the next several days or week, just keep count on how many people are coming into your restaurant.
Yeah, we have tried to do that because it is a lot of coming and going, to your point.
Yeah,
It is
and
a
our
lot of-
turnover is so
But
fast.
I guess I'm struggling because Dr. Pepe is next door to us.
Correct.
And I can guarantee he's got more cars there than we would probably ever have at a restaurant at
He
one
does.
time.
He does have a lot of cars, but he doesn't have 50 people an hour coming and going for
Yeah.
teeth cleaning. He
Oh,
has
okay, well, see,
a number
I
of
don't know,
staff
yeah, I
people.
see what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess mine is, I don't know if that's that realistic. I think, like, we'll have a busy time, so maybe for 2 hours, breakfast, if there's people coming and going. But then you might have nobody in the parking lot for a couple
So
hours.
you can do an average. I think
Oh, that's what
I
an
think
average is,
what
an
you're
average.
saying.
Sure, we
An
can do that.
average should
Sure.
tell us how many people.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So would you be willing to have that condition where the DOT is asked if there is any issue with that?
Sure.
As
Then
part of-
amend the motion to,
Yes.
based on the DOT's findings and what they have to say
And
about
is
the
that,
traffic pattern there.
okay, is that acceptable for a second as well?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Chairwoman DeTon?
I am going to vote aye. I am concerned though about some of the need for site plans and all of that, because it makes a big difference for us as we look at use variances. But because the changes in the zoning code may in fact just negate it, and so that you would have a plan anyway, I am going to vote yes. So
Okay.
you have 6 to
Okay.
nothing on the vote. We will get that information for the DOT because we want to have that clarified before you go forward and go and actually